fact that that officer at the Capitol, folks, he died, he had a stroke. The photo you see of that Capitol police officer, that is not, to me, like a really good photo of him. The photo that I've seen that the FBI has the footage. Listen, nothing against the guy, rest in peace, but he was actually obese, and he was not in this fit shape, but he did apparently have a stroke or 2 strokes and then passed away. But you had Congressman David Cicilline saying that the protesters that day, that they murdered him. First they said hit him with a fire extinguisher, then next said that that they killed him with beer spray. That was proven to be false. So this is like the classic, how do you know that they're not telling the truth? It's like their lips are moving. So the only person that was killed on January 6th at the Capitol, the only person that was killed was a veteran, unarmed, Ashley Babbitt. She was the only one that was shot and killed by the Capitol Police. That officer was not killed by the Trump supporters. So very significant day, number one with that. And Cicilline was pushing that lie. That was a big part of the impeachment, that they had actually killed that Capitol Police officer. All proved to be a lie. And then you also have the situation this afternoon, Maxine Waters, Representative Waters, calling for violence. Now, where is Cicilline? Where is Langevin? Where are the Democrat leaders in the state condemning her remarks, calling for violence? And those of you that maybe heard some of the show could hear that we were, calling her out for that, this whole business of calling for violence and saying, and she went to Minneapolis and said that. So you have people that are trying to inflame things. Now, you see, you don't know, sometimes these kids on the bikes, they act as scouts for the protesters. As you can see, folks, it is the Rhode Island State House. And I also want to show you, so here we are right across from the mall, and then the police happen to be right here. They're keeping their distance. So you don't know if those are kids just walking around or riding around, I should say. But this is it's a relatively new group that is organized tonight. This is not the Black Lives Matter group. But folks, this is a time, can I see a thumbs up with Facebook if you support the police, if you back the blue? What's going on in Minneapolis has nothing to do with the situation in Providence. Now, folks, as many of you know, this mall still has not recovered from the riot that went on last June, and then all the protests over the course of the summer. And Providence is still reeling from that. But this is a time, there's Tracy Pellegrino. Folks, we need to support the police. We need to back the blue during this. And as far as the whole situation with Derek Chauvin, if you've seen it, I don't know if they're going to have second-degree murder. It doesn't seem like they have it. Certainly, George Floyd was in their care. There was no reason to have his knee on the neck. They should have sat him up. That was a mistake. Did he take 2 Percocets and then have fentanyl in his system? Yes. Had he said that before? Yes. Did he have a heart problem? I believe so. But that said, if that were your family member pulled over, relatively minor BS crime as far as a $20 counterfeit bill to buy cigarettes, and then you end up lying the guy on the ground, and then he ends up dying, I mean, you would be upset. So I don't know if that is second-degree manslaughter. I'm not sure exactly what the charge is going to be on that, but it is not the I don't think it's the definition of murder. So now you have all week, you're going to have everyone kind of on edge, as you can imagine. Now, this gathering, that's not bad. It's somewhat not as organized as some of the other groups. But now where they're marching to, I don't know. A lot of times the speeches last week, I feel if you broadcast it, it's propaganda and it's lies. And that's exactly right. I'm going to talk to Coogie, R.E. Coogan Heating. We need to organize, folks, another Back the Blue rally. But this business, you see, and look at, there's the George Floyd image right there across the street. And then you have the people. That's a decent-sized crowd, not huge, but they are planning on marching. But as far as the speeches, everything is like an F-bomb. Everything is the police are just there to harm people. And I just don't feel like I've broadcasted in the past, and then it's like, why am I broadcasting this nonsense? Why am I broadcasting this foolishness? So that is the situation right now. Again, we are in Providence. This is where they're afraid they're going to gather. I don't think the judge The jury, as you know, is deliberating right now, and who knows what's going to happen with this whole thing. It is a horrible situation. But that Maxine Waters, and the judge came right out, folks. Can you imagine? And they're going to have no one to blame but themselves. But how can you, if you're on the jury, how do you come up with right now? Oh, okay. So I'm seeing that they're over at police headquarters. We're going to head over there because I think they're going to end up over there. They're starting to block off some of the things, so we're going to be going over there relatively soon. But folks, how do you have a jury try to reach a verdict? You know, Alan Dershowitz was on Newsmax today saying the Klan, that's like the Klan used to wait outside the courtroom to see what the verdict was going to be. What is the difference with something like that? So, again, they are having some speeches. I have no interest in listening to the propaganda that they have going, because that's what it is. And it's not, to me, it's not reflective. Especially, you know, last week, folks, at this time, you had an armed Black Lives Matter protester who was at the scene. And what was the purpose of that? Why was someone showing up with a weapon? I don't think that covered enough. And if you read the website, DePietro.com, we're hearing that there were more people, but those are that was just the one person that they got. That apparently there were some other individuals that may have been in the area and ended up getting away. So that is the situation right now. We're going to monitor it. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. As far as this is rotten ado to the police, I think. This is not a Rhode Island problem, but folks, these people, they are nuts with the defund the police. That Maxine Waters, how is that not? She needs to be called out. She absolutely needs to be called out by the Rhode Island Democrats and condemn her remarks. She's encouraging violence. She's encouraging that people take to the streets and get aggressive and go against people, and it absolutely should not be allowed. So this is the situation right now. Again, that is at the Rhode Island State House, where a small group has gathered. We're going to monitor some of the results during the course of the actions, I should say, during the course of the night, and it seemed a little bit of a curiosity thing here, folks. But we're going to monitor it right now. Again, it starts off this way. Let's see how it ends up. I'm not even going to get into some of the signs and some of the language.